Is bourbon rum? No? In this video, we're answering the questions most frequently asked to Google about bourbon. Make sure you watch until the end because some of these questions are kind of weird. Is bourbon whiskey? Yes, bourbon is a type of whiskey. Bourbon is in fact the American type of whiskey. Bourbon is made from 51% corn and then a combination of other grains. It might be wheat, it might be rye, but it's at least 51% corn. And it is aged in an oak barrel. And most importantly, it comes from the US of A. Is bourbon vegan? Yes! Bourbon is vegan, so if you don't eat animal products, you can at least drink bourbon to make yourself feel better. But you should look out because some bourbons do have honey. For example, Jack Daniel's does a honey whiskey, which is obviously not vegan. Is bourbon gluten-free? Yes! Bourbon and actually almost all alcohol spirits are gluten-free because they do have grains in them. Barley, rye, obviously all of those are, gluten no-nos. But when you distill it, you take away all the gluten proteins, so yes, if you're gluten-free or if you're a celiac, you can absolutely enjoy a good old bourbon. Is bourbon sweet? This bourbon is so sweet. Yes, bourbon can absolutely be sweet, especially if it's a bourbon that's been flavored with something like honey. But for me, one of the big notes that I often taste in a bourbon is sweetness. So if you like a sweet spirit, bourbon could be the drink for you. Is bourbon fattening? No, bourbon is not fattening because bourbon has 0 fat, no carbs, and almost no sugar, which is obviously a good thing for people that are trying to lose weight. Also, it's a good thing for people that aren't trying to lose weight. It's just a good thing. Bourbon is just good. So, yeah, we should all drink bourbon because there are no negative consequences. Except for, all the negative consequences. But if you put those to one side, bourbon is good. Is bourbon good for you? Yes, as long as you don't fall off your bar stool. Bourbon is absolutely good for you, according to science. Science, yes, science, has told us that bourbon can reduce your chances of getting Alzheimer's, dementia, blood clots, the common cold, and it reduces stress. And that's science, so it must be true. Is bourbon a place? Yes, bourbon is very much a place, and also a state of mind. But more importantly, it's actually a physical, place. Bourbon County, Kentucky is where a lot of bourbon was first produced. Although there is a common myth that for something to be called bourbon, it has to be from Kentucky, but actually, that's not true. Any American whiskey can be called bourbon. In fact, right now, most whiskey distilleries that produce bourbon are not actually based in Bourbon County, Kentucky. They're all over the US. But yes, bourbon is a real place and you can go there and visit it yourself. Is bourbon biscuit vegan? No, a bourbon biscuit is not vegan. It has whey powder in the cream. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope that you learned a thing or two about bourbon that you might not have known before. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and watch our next video where we answer the most frequently asked questions about single malts.